Alright, welcome to this module. So far, and in this module, we are going to talk about the pros and cons of a marketplace t-shirt business and a self-hosted print-on-demand e-commerce store. At least by now you should know what I mean by marketplace. We've discussed about that, where you get to sell on print-on-demand marketplaces like Redbubble, Zazzle, TeePublic, and so on and so forth. Alright, now in this module, by the time we are done, you should be able to understand the pros and cons of these two options, and so that you can be able to make the right choice for you as a print-on-demand entrepreneur. Okay, so let's proceed. Now the very first consideration is the risk of business suspension. Now if you decide to set up your shop on Redbubble or any of these other platforms like Zazzle, Spreadshirt, there is a higher risk of your store getting banned or suspended from the marketplace. Actually, one of my shops on TeePublic was suspended. That was sometime in April 2023. So I got an email from them. They told me that my account has been banned and all my work deleted. So just like that, I lost over almost a year and a half of work on that platform. So if you plan to set up shop on one of these platforms, just have it in mind that your account is not guaranteed to last as long as possible, as long as you may want it to last. So there is a risk of suspension or your store getting banned from the marketplace. If you violate their policies, then you are liable to that. Alright, so but if you have a self-hosted store, there is no such risk. Your business is more secured. Okay, now let's talk about ease of setup. Now in a marketplace, there is a very easy, it doesn't have a learning curve, a steep learning curve. What I mean by that is that you don't get to learn, it's not something that you have to spend hours trying to understand how it works. Their interface is very easy to use. They can even give you templates and their design tools to assist you in creating your designs or your products. Okay, but for a self-hosted setup, you have to learn, you have to have technical knowledge. You have to have some technical knowledge to be able to set up your store. Even if you are selling on Shopify, you still have to set up your shop, customize it to some extent. Alright, but we are talking about self-hosted in this case. Shopify is not really a self-hosted option. It's a third-party hosted platform. So the company hosts and manages your shop. You just have to pay them, and your shop is set up. You just have to upload your products. Now, but if you are hosting your website by yourself, that's what we are talking about. So you have to have some technical knowledge. Alright, or you can hire developers to develop the web store. Okay, so let's talk about customer base. Now if you are planning to sell on third-party marketplaces like Zazzle or Redbubble, they have an existing customer base that you can tap into, that you can sell to. So this customer base increases the visibility of your products and potentially attract more sales. You can actually start making sales like a week or 2 weeks after you start uploading your designs. Now if your designs are very good and exceptional, you can actually start making sales just because you have a customer base waiting for you to sell to. But if you are setting up a self-hosted store. There is no customer base existing you have to sell to, or you are gonna sell to. You have to build up your own customer base by yourself. Now, production and shipping is another consideration to look at. The marketplace platforms like Redbubble, they handle production, packaging, and shipping of products, and you don't have to worry about any of that. You just have to worry about uploading your designs to their platform. For a self-hosted store, you either handle this aspect or your fulfillment partner does. So you have the option of choosing a fulfillment partner to handle the shipping, the inventory, and every other aspect of this business. Alright, so let's move on. Let's talk about brand control. What I mean by brand control is how much control you have over your brand. In a marketplace setup, you don't have any brand. Your brand options are limited. So the marketplaces prioritize their brand, and your shop is just one among many others. So this limits your ability to establish a unique brand identity, or create a cohesive customer experience. In other words, you cannot project your brand. You cannot just do things, okay, because you are just like a shop in a marketplace. Alright, so you can actually have a unique branding on your own shop, but you have limitations on what you can do. That is the point. Now, if you have a self-hosted setup, you have full control over your brand. You can project your brand, you can market your brand, you can do so many things to push your brand out there and to establish your brand in the industry. Okay, now for profit margins, the marketplaces, they have fixed and low profit margins, but if the self-hosted option, you have full control over your profit margins, and they can be quite high. You can increase your profit margins to whatever you like. So that's what makes the self-hosted option more appealing. You can control how much you want to price your merchandise. Alright, so as opposed to the marketplace option. Now let's talk about competition. In the marketplace, in marketplaces like Redbubble, it is common knowledge that the competition it's quite high. You are competing with thousands of artists, you're competing with hundreds of thousands of designers out there. So it's quite hard to stand out. It's quite hard to make good returns or to make good sales, because the competition is quite high. But it's not applicable to self-hosted stores, because there is less competition. You don't have direct competitors like in a marketplace setup, but the only competition you have is just in the industry. There are others competing against you in the industry, not like the marketplace option. Now, for this consideration, customer relationships, the marketplace option, you have no direct access to customer data, so you cannot build a customer base or develop personalized marketing strategies. What this means is that you find it hard or impossible to relate to your customers directly. The marketplace handles all that. The customer doesn't really know you. What the customer knows is the marketplace. For instance, if someone buys merchandise from TeePublic, they don't really know you as the artist. They just know that they bought something from TeePublic. So whatever interaction that has to happen, it must happen between the customer and the TeePublic customer support staff. So you cannot talk to the customers directly, you cannot interact with them. But for the self-hosted setup, you have full access to customer metrics. You can design marketing strategies around all that data because everything is available to you. Okay, so you can build customer relationships, you can nurture your customers, you can market to them as much as you like. Now for the next consideration, flexibility and customization. Marketplaces do not allow you to be flexible with respect to your products or to pricing and promotional activities. What this means is that you cannot change products. You only have these products, you just put your designs on them. You cannot remove products, you cannot do so much with pricing, you cannot run promotions. Okay, though you can advertise your store to some extent on social media, but you don't have much flexibility with these things. Alright, but self-hosted is the opposite. You have more flexibility, you have more options to customize your store, your product offerings, your promotional activities. You have 100% control. You can experiment, you can adapt your strategies based on your target market's preferences. Okay, now let's talk about technical expertise. In the marketplaces like Redbubble, you don't need much. You don't need to know so much to be able to set up your store. So you need little or no technical knowledge. Once you sign up, you have access to your back end. You can upload your designs and start selling right away. So there is no need to customize anything, deep customization. There is no provision for that. You don't have to set up payment gateways, you don't have to set up other management systems. The platform takes care of all these aspects. But for a self-hosted store, you should be knowledgeable about web design, about e-commerce platforms, payment gateways, other management systems, and so many other aspects. Alright, so that is that for technical expertise. Now, in terms of costs, upfront costs, when you sign up to a marketplace like Redbubble, there is little or no upfront costs required to start. You don't pay anything to start. You don't invest money to start. You just begin to upload your designs and put them on products and begin to expect sales. But for a self-hosted store, you have to commit some money to start your business. You have to buy a domain name, you have to buy hosting, you have to design your logo, you have to probably pay a developer to put up the website, to design the store, and so many other things you have to pay some money for. Alright, but that is just it. Okay, now for inventory management, in the marketplace setup, you don't worry about inventory management. The company or the marketplace does the inventory. They keep their inventory, they take stock of their inventory and manage it on your behalf. Okay, but for a self-hosted store, you don't even have to do inventory if you are doing a drop shipping model. But you must have an inventory if you are producing your t-shirts, if you are printing and fulfilling orders by yourself, which is what I call the self-produced model. So that is just the distinction there. Okay, so we'll go into that in detail later. Now let's talk about marketing and customer acquisition. In a marketplace setup, the marketplace handles marketing, and they are responsible for driving traffic to your store. They do most of their marketing and promotions for you. Okay, though you can still do your own marketing, you can still do your own promotion. Okay, but for a self-hosted store, you are solely responsible for marketing efforts and traffic acquisition. You can run your ads, do your promotional stuff online, and every other thing that has to do with projecting your brand. You are solely responsible for that. Okay, so let's talk about the risk factor. In a marketplace, the risk factor is much lower. What I mean by risk factor is you don't have so much to lose other than your designs you're uploading to the platform. Okay, you don't have so much to lose. You're not investing money upfront, so there is a lower risk that you are exposed to, unlike the self-hosted option where there is a higher risk. You are spending all this money to set up your business, so the likelihood that your business is going to succeed or fail depends on a lot of things. So that makes it higher risk for you because you are spending all that money. So what if the business doesn't succeed? That means that you wasted money, you lost. Alright, so that is it for this module. Thank you for hanging around. I'll see you in the next one.